Greetings, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Distant Learning with Mr. Wong. The lesson will be for May 20th, percent equations. On the title screen, you'll see this percent equation as A equals P times W, using the same terms from the previous lesson 15.3. We need the part, the whole, as well as the percent. Let's proceed. The percent equation. Finding a part of a number. So in this instance, we actually have the part missing, and given to us is the percent as well as the whole. Step 1 will always be using the percent equation formula. Take a look at estimate this. 24% is really close to 1/4. So we know our answer should be close to 12.5 based on this graphic. Our first step is to write the percent equation. A equals P times W. Then substitute. Percent needs to be written either as a decimal or a fraction. In this case, we can either use 2400ths or 0.24 if that's better for you. And then we use 50 for the whole. We then simplify by actually doing the math. If you keep it as a fraction, you may do this operation as 24 divided by 100, then times 50 in your calculator. The final result is 12. 12 is 24 of 50. Again, in this example, the part portion, A, was missing. Let's take a look and see if the P is missing in the next example. Finding a percent. 9.5 is what percent of 25? Let's take a look and estimate to see what our answer should be close to. If we split this up into groups of 5 out of 25 total, 9.5 is close to 10, which is about 40%. So our resulting answer should be at least close to 40% when we work it out. Step 1 is to always write the percent equation, A equals P times W. Next is to substitute the values which we already given. 9.5 is, which is the part, of 25 is the whole, leaving P as the remaining variable to solve for. We can apply inverse operations by doing the opposite of times 25 to get rid of everything except the P. So we'll use the division property of equality and divide both sides by 25, canceling this out. With our calculator, we'll actually put 9.5 divided by 25, resulting in a decimal answer. Remember from the previous lesson, we can rewrite the decimal as a percent by moving the decimal 2 spaces to the right, which is the result of multiplying by 100. So because 0.38 equals to 38%, 9.5 is 38% of 25. Using our estimate of 40%, was this reasonable? Yes, that means we are close to the estimate, and that's the exact answer. Now let's investigate when a whole is missing. Finding a whole. 39 is 52% of what number? So remember, we can write 52% as a decimal or a fraction. Estimate this by assuming that 52% is close to 50, and if 39 is almost half, doubling it will make the full answer 78, or at least approximately close. So, first step, always write the percent equation. A equals P times W. Our next step is to substitute the values for the percent, P, and the 39 is number for A. In the previous example, we wrote it as a fraction, but this time we'll use a decimal for the percent. Now, to isolate the W, we have to do the opposite of multiplying by 0.52. So dividing both sides by 0.52 will result in 75 equals to the whole. This is actually close to our estimate of 78. So 39 is 52% of 75. And our estimate and answers are reasonably close. Now it's your turn. Write and solve an equation to answer the question. Remember to always start off by writing the percent equation before you start to substitute the values in. That's A equals P times W. Question 1. What number is 10% of 20? In this case, the is part, or the A, is missing. Question 2. What number is 150% of 40? Again, the part is missing. Question 3. 3 is what percent of 600? The percentage is missing. Number 4. 18 is what percent of 20? The percent's missing in this one as well. Number 5. 8 is 80% of what number? The whole is missing. And number 6, 90 is 18% of what number? So you have 2 questions where the part's missing, 2 questions where the percent is missing, and 2 questions where the whole is missing. Remember, you must convert the percentage to a decimal to work out questions number 1, 2, 5, and 6. You can make it either a fraction or a decimal. In question number 3 and 4, you are solving for the percent, which may result in a decimal answer. You must change that into a percent by moving the decimal 2 spaces to the right. Go ahead and work these out, pausing the video now and then resuming once you've completed the task. Remember, I want to see the correct substitution of the percent equation, followed by the final answer. Welcome back. Let's check to see if your percent equation after substitution is correct, and also to see if your results are correct. Question number 1. You should have written A equals 0.1 times 20. Or you could write A equals 10 over 100 times 20. And the answer you should have gotten is 2. Question number 2, A equals 1.5 times 40. Or you can write A equals 150 over 100 times 40. And the correct answer is 60. For question 3, the percent's missing, so you have the percent equation 3 equals P times 600. You would divide both sides by 600, and you'd get a result of 0.05. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the right, and that'll be 0.5%. Question 4. 18 is what percent of 220? The correct equation will be 18 equals P times 20. Divide both sides by 20, you should get the result of 0.9. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the right, and you get 90%. Question 5. 8 is 80% of what number? You should have the equation 8 equals 0.8 times W. Divide both sides by 0.8 and you get 10. Remember, changing this percent to a decimal means moving the decimals to the left 2 spaces, and we just forget that there's a 0 there because it's invisible. Our final question, number 6, will have the resulting percent equation 90 equals 0.18 times W. Divide both sides by 18 and you get 500. Did you get the matching answers to your problem when you worked them out? Fabulous! Now let's apply this rule to real-world situations. On this receipt, it wants us to find the percent of sales tax on the food total. So, again, we must use the percent formula A equals P times W. In this case, the percentage is missing. We do have the tax, though, and the food total. So, the question is, 1.65 is what percent of 2750? Remember, we want the food total, not the subtotal. So, using the percent formula, we always write that first, A equals P times W. Then substituting the 1.65 for A and 27.50 for W. Since we want to make sure we have the P by itself, we must divide by 27.50 on both sides. We get a result of 0.06. Again, this is a decimal version of the percent. To make it a percent, we must move the decimal places 2 spaces to the right. Because 0.06 equals 6%, the percent of sales tax is 6%. What if we wanted to leave a tip for our server? Let's try and calculate how much tip we would leave. Find the amount of a 16% tip on the food total. So now that we know that we want to tip 16% and we know the food total, we have to figure out what that amount is. Again, using the percent as a decimal or fraction, we must fill in the correct parts of this percent equation. So step 1, write the percent equation A equals P times W. The 16% must be changed either to a fraction or a decimal, so we use 0.16 for P and 27.50 as the whole. All we have to do now is multiply by these, and we get our resulting part. 0.16 times 27.50 equals $4.40. So, to answer the question, the amount of the tip is $4.40. Now it's your turn. Using the previous example, find the amount of a 20% tip on the total. Pause the video now to work this out and then resume the video once you've completed the task. Welcome back. Let's check to see if your answers are correct. We will be multiplying the 20% as a decimal, 0.20, times 27.50. The resulting tip amount would be $5.50. Did it match your answer? Great! It looks like you're ready for the homework. Homework is available on eCampus. To download, make sure you go to the May 20th edition of the update. Make sure to show all steps, including always writing the percent equation A equals P times W to start off with before substituting. Homework questions are 10, 15, 20, 21, 28, and 30. Please send your submissions by taking a photo or emailing me, typing in the responses due by Friday evening, May 22nd, 2020, 11:59 p.m. Until next time.